Welcome to this episode of Toronto Blue Jays Update. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and drop your thoughts in the comments below because I want to hear what you think about everything we're covering today. So the Mets just pulled off another massive trade, and honestly, it must be incredible to be a Mets fan right now. Well, maybe not incredible because they're still the Mets, but you know what I mean. Imagine being born into a fan base where your team actually tries to get better every single offseason. They're out there making move after move, spending money, bringing in talent. Meanwhile, some of us are stuck watching our teams do absolutely nothing year after year, just kind of staying mediocre and hoping for the best. But that's a conversation for another day. This latest Mets trade is with the Brewers, and it's a big one. Milwaukee just won 97 games, and now just months after almost hitting 100 wins, they're shipping out Freddy Peralta, their homegrown ace, the face of their franchise, a superstar pitcher on a team-friendly contract. And where's he going? To the big market Mets who have money to burn. You've got to wonder what's going on in Milwaukee's front office because this feels like classic small market baseball cutting payroll when they should be going all in. Why would the Brewers trade away Freddy Peralta? Simple. Money. They want to save some cash, trim the budget, stay financially flexible. It's what teams like Milwaukee, Tampa Bay, and Cleveland do. They develop stars, watch them shine, then trade them before they get too expensive. And we're supposed to believe that teams like the Dodgers are the problem in baseball? Come on. Baseball's viewership and attendance are at record levels, but somehow small market teams still can't afford to keep their best players? That doesn't add up. All right, let me break down what the Brewers are actually getting in return for Peralta. They're bringing back 2 top 60 prospects according to MLB's rankings, Sproat and Jett Williams. These aren't just throw-in guys, they're legit prospects with serious upside. Sproat is a 25-year-old starting pitcher with an impressive arsenal. Scouts have given him 360 grade pitches, which is above average on the scouting scale. His fastball and sinker both sit at 65 grade, his slider and sweeper are at 60, and his changeup is also a 60. That's a ridiculous mix of pitches. And coming into last season, he was one of the most hyped pitching prospects in baseball. But then the season happened, and it wasn't great. Sproat posted a 4.3 ERA over 121 innings in the minors, and his strikeout numbers dropped to 113. When he got called up to the majors, things didn't improve much. He had a 4.8 ERA in just over 20 innings with only 17 strikeouts. Not exactly the dominant performance you'd hope for from a top prospect. He struggled with command and got lit up by left-handed hitters. But here's the thing. He finished the year strong. His velocity bumped up, his command improved, and the results started flipping in his favor. The Brewers clearly believe they can develop him into the next Freddy Peralta, which is why they're comfortable making this move. Then there's Jett Williams, a 22-year-old utility player who stands just 5'7". Don't let his size fool you, though. This kid can play. Scouts gave him a 60 to 65 grade for sprint speed, so he's one of the fastest guys in the minors. He can play shortstop, second base, and center field, giving him tons of versatility. Last year in 130 games, he hit .261 with a .363 on base percentage, 17 home runs, and 34 stolen bases. He drew 76 walks and led the entire Mets farm system with 226 total bases. He also racked up 58 extra base hits, which ranked 9th in all of minor league baseball. The knock on Williams is that he doesn't make consistent contact. He struck out 131 times in 130 games, which isn't ideal. But the Brewers are betting on his upside, his speed, his ability to get on base, and his defensive versatility. They're getting younger, adding high-ceiling talent, and cutting payroll all at once. Classic Milwaukee baseball. But let's be real. Freddy Peralta should have retired a Brewer. He was the face of that franchise, a homegrown star who gave them everything. And now he's gone because they didn't want to pay him. If you're a fan of a small market team, this is just what happens. Your best players leave unless they take massive discounts. It's frustrating, it's exhausting, and it never really changes. Now here's a fun twist. The Mets didn't just get Freddy Peralta in this deal. They also landed Tobias, who had a breakout season with the Brewers in 2024. Myers has one of the highest arm angles in baseball, throwing from way up top like he's launching missiles. As a reliever, he can hit 98 to 99 on the fastball, but as a starter, he dials it back to 93 or 94. His splitter is absolutely disgusting, one of the nastiest pitches in baseball. The only issue is his cutter, which has been pretty useless so far in his career. But if anyone can fix it, it's the Mets. They've worked wonders with pitchers before, turning average stuff into elite weapons. Myers is 27 years old and isn't a free agent until 2031, so even if Freddy Peralta ends up being a one-year rental, the Mets still have a young, controllable arm in Tobias Myers. That's solid value right there. Let's talk about Freddy Peralta himself. They call him Fastball Freddy, and for good reason. He's a two-time All-Star who finished 5th in Cy Young voting last year with a 2.7 ERA. Over his career, he's averaged 11.1 strikeouts per 9 innings, which is elite. And here's something wild. He didn't even become a full-time starting pitcher until 2021. Before that, he was bouncing between the rotation and the bullpen. Now that he's settled into the starter role, he's figured out the routine, the mentality, the preparation that comes with pitching every 5th day. His fastball has tons of life and ride, his changeup is excellent, and his slider is absolutely otherworldly. He generates insane spin on that pitch, and because of that, he limits hard contact better than almost anyone in baseball. But here's the catch. Peralta is a free agent after this season. The Mets need to extend him if they want to keep him long-term. With young arms like Nolan McLean and Jonah Tong in the system, plus guys like Kodai Senga and David Peterson already in the rotation, the Mets could have one of the best staffs in baseball if they lock down Peralta. So what does the Mets offseason look like overall? They've added Bo Bichette, Luis Robert Jr., Jorge Polanco, and Marcus Semien on the hitting side. On the pitching side, they brought in Freddy Peralta, Luke Weaver, Devin Williams, and Tobias Myers. That's a lot of new faces, but they also lost some big names. Pete Alonso, Edwin Diaz, Brandon Nimmo, and Jeff McNeil are all gone. That's 4 core pieces just wiped off the roster. Add in guys like Ryan Helsley, Cedric Mullins, and a handful of prospects they traded away, and this has been one of the most active off-seasons I've ever seen. If Luis Robert Jr. stays healthy, he could replace all of Pete Alonso's power production while adding elite defense and speed. Bo Bichette gives them another dynamic bat. I'd give the Mets a solid B+, maybe even an A- when you factor in everything they've done. They've pivoted hard after missing out on some big names, and they've restocked the roster with high upside talent. Thanks so much for watching. Drop your grade for the Mets offseason in the comments, and let me know what moves you'd make if you were running your favorite team. I'll catch you in the next one.